Verb tenses. Okay, I'm the teacher Alejandro and I am going to talk about all the verb tenses in English. Let's begin. Present simple. We use present simple to talk about a fact, habit, or a regular action. First, we begin with a fact. The fact: she is an author. She writes books. Okay, first we use a verb. Any verb that you want. In this case, the verb is write. So we add an S at the end of the verb because we're talking in third person. So, the fact is, she is an author. She writes books. We can continue with an habit. She always writes in the morning. We do the same with the verb. We continue with a regular action. She writes 2 books a year. Okay, we can see the structure here. First we have our subject, in this case is she. We continue with the verb. In this case is write in the third person form, writes. And we continue with a complement. The complement in this case is 2 books a year. Present continuous. We use present continuous to talk about a temporary action in progress at present. Okay, here's an example. She's currently writing a new book. In this timeline, we can see here that the action is happening now. Okay, the structure. The structure is very simple. First we have our subject, after we have our verb to be. In this case, we use is because we're talking in third person. Can be is, are, or am. Plus the verb with ing form. We take the verb write and we erase the letter E and we add the ing plus a complement. The complement in this case is a new book. Present perfect continuous. We use present perfect continuous to talk about an action that has already started and is still going on. Here's an example. She has been writing books for over 20 years. In this timeline, we can see here the action. In the past, she has been writing books. And all the time, for over 20 years, she was doing that action. And also we can add, since she was 18, she has been writing books for over 20 years. Here we have the structure. First, we have our subject. After, we have our auxiliary has or have. In this case, we use has because we're talking in third person. She has. After, we have been. We add been. And after, we have our verb with ing form. Okay, in this case, it's also the verb write. We erase the letter E and we add the ing. And after we have our complement. In this case, books for over 20 years. Present perfect. We use present perfect to talk about a completed action without a specific time in the past. Here we have an example. She has already written 40 books. In our timeline, we can see here that in the past, she has already written 40 books. The action was completed at the same point in the past. And we talk now about the action. This is the time of speaking. So that it means that we complete that action in the past. Here we have a structure. First we begin with the subject. After we have our auxiliary, has or have, depends on the person. Plus our verb in past participle, in this case is write. The past participle form of write is written. And we have our complement, 40 books. Past simple. We use past simple to talk about a completed action at a specific time in the past. Here we have an example. She wrote a novel many years ago. In our timeline, we can see here that the action that happened in the past was completed at a specific time in the past. Another example can be yesterday, 2 weeks ago, or when I was 10. We can see here the structure. Subject plus verb in past, and in this case is grade. The past form of grade is growth plus our complement. Past continuous. We use the past continuous to talk about an action in progress in the past either. Can be when a shorter action took place or at a very precise moment. Here we have an example. She was writing that novel when she became ill. Okay, here we have our timeline. She was writing that novel when she became ill. Here we have our structure. First we have our subject. After we have was or were. We use was because we're talking in third person. Plus our verb with ing. The verb was write, so we add only the ing and we erase the e. Verb with ing, writing. Plus our complement, that novel when she became ill. Past perfect. We use past perfect to talk about an action that was completed in the past either. Can be before another action took place or before a very precise moment. Here we have our example. She had written that novel before she became ill. Okay, she had written that novel before she became ill. That action happened before she became ill. Here we have our structure. First we begin with the subject. After we have our auxiliary had. And we have our verb in past participle form. In this case the verb is write, so the past participle form of write is written, plus our complement, that novel before she came ill. Past perfect continuous. We use past perfect continuous to talk about an action that has started, continues for some time, and was still in progress in the past completed. Can be before another action or before a very precise moment. Here we have an example. She had been writing that novel for a few months when she became ill. So, she had been writing that novel for a few months when she became ill. Here we have our structure. First we begin with our subject plus our auxiliary had, because it is the verb have in past form, plus our auxiliary been, plus our verb with ing, plus our complement, that novel for a few months when she became ill. Future simple. We use future simple to talk about a decision at the time of speaking, used mainly in dialogues and in contracted form. Here we have an example of a dialogue. First we begin with this person, that it says, Don called earlier, he wants you to call him back. And we have the response of the other person that it says, okay, I'll call him as soon as I can. Here we have the structure. First we begin with the subject. In this case, we used I plus our auxiliary will. This double L, it means will. It's just the contracted form of will. We only add this double L after the subject. Plus our verb, call, plus our complement, him as soon as I can. We also can use it to talk about a possibility in the future, usually in combination with an expression of possibility. Here we have our example. I'll probably call him this afternoon. We only add the expression of possibility here, probably. Be going to. We use be going to talk about an action in the future that has already been planned by the speaker. Here's an example. I'm going to call Dan after lunch. Okay, the structure says that we begin with our subject. In this case we use I, plus our verb to be, is, are, or am. In this case we use am, plus going to, plus verb, plus our complement. Also, we can use be going to talk about something that is certain to happen in the near future. Here's an example. I know he's going to invite me out.